7 weather with meteorologist Vivian Gonzalez.
Good morning, South Florida. And on this Tuesday, it will feel very nice outside since we had the passage of a weak front yesterday, dropping down humidity levels. Temperatures not as cool as they were over the weekend. We're in the upper 60s to low 70s. Satellite imagery showing that we do have some higher level clouds already starting to stream in from the south to the north, and more will be on the increase today. But at least to start off, we'll deal with some sunshine, mostly dry conditions, and it's mostly dry for your morning commute at this hour. And here's a look at temperatures: 69 in Fort Lauderdale, 72. Good morning to you over in Miami, 75 in Key West. With the wind along the east coast out of the northwest, they will shift out of the north and east, increasing in the teens and getting gusty at times later today. Right now, the wind is out of the northeast for the Keys up to 10 miles per hour. There's a gust up to 20 miles per hour already in Marathon. So with the front that moved in, it's going to stall to our south, and then there's this area of high pressure that will be gaining control of our weather pattern on the basically across the southeast and mid-Atlantic region. Both of these features will funnel in some stronger winds along the coastline, so it will be breezy to gusty at times, not only today but Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It does look like the periods of clouds will stick around through Thursday across the region, and that's when we actually introduce a chance of seeing some spotty showers moving in along a northeasterly breeze. Now, in the tropics, there are a few westward moving tropical waves, but it's very quiet out there, and we are not monitoring any areas for development. Elevated rip current risk at area beaches present today. There's a small craft advisory in effect now through 9 a.m. this morning. There's a coastal flood statement for Dade and Broward because of the extra high tides. We have the full moon of November that will peak tomorrow, so water levels are running higher than normal. Biscayne Bay choppy, rough in the Florida Keys, seas beyond the reef building 5 to 9 feet. And the next tide cycle will be high tide, 6:40 in Fort Lauderdale, 7:09 in Miami. Look for highs at around 80 degrees, building clouds, a bigger breeze heading into tonight. High clouds around, but it should be fairly dry. By the end of the week, we'll introduce a better chance of seeing a few showers heading into the upcoming weekend. It starts to warm up as we watch a much stronger front. That's your 7 on 7.
7 weather with meteorologist Erika Delgado.
All right, South Florida winds are the big story this morning. Behind yesterday's front now, we can expect breezy to gusty conditions, and these are winds sustained anywhere between 10 to as high as 17 miles per hour. That's what we find in Fort Lauderdale. 13 mile per hour winds right now in Miami, and into the Florida Keys, winds are as high as 15 to 20 miles per hour sustained, with the occasional gusts reaching between 22 to 23 miles per hour for Miami and Fort Lauderdale, and as high as 24 mile per hour gusts right now across the lower Keys. We've seen a steady stream of clouds moving in across South Florida, even though this morning we did wake up with slightly lower humidity. And because of the cloud cover in place, it likely didn't allow our temperatures to cool any more than the low 70s earlier this morning. But you know the drill. Strong breeze coming off the water leaves a high risk of rip currents across area beaches. That's going to continue through Thursday evening. And we have a small craft advisory in place for the Atlantic waters until this evening. For the Florida Keys, we also have a small craft advisory that's been issued through this afternoon. In addition to that, due to the current lunar phase, the full moon that we've been talking about, and that strong breeze pushing that water up against the coastline, our tide levels are already running higher than average, so saltwater flooding will be a possibility along our coastal low-lying areas of Miami-Dade and Broward County, especially during high tide. We're going to keep that in place through tomorrow morning. Boating forecast for Miami-Dade and Broward, as we just talked about, not the greatest. The advisory is in place because we have seas along the Gulf Stream occasionally reaching as high as 9 feet, and Biscayne Bay will be choppy. Heading into the Florida Keys, coastal waters rough today, with seas building as high as 5 to 9 feet. And again, that all-important high tide will begin at 6:47 p.m. in Fort Lauderdale, 7:16 in Miami. That's when we can see that saltwater flooding. 8:23 this evening is the high tide in Key West. This afternoon, our high temperatures will be a few degrees below average, so it'll be comfortable lower 80s, just more cloud cover, unfortunately, breezy to gusty conditions. And then tonight, with that strong breeze coming off the water, we can't rule out maybe a passing sprinkle Overnight lows will be in the mid to low 70s. And then after that, you'll notice temperatures getting just a little bit warmer, but the cloud cover sticks around, so we're not looking at any overly hot day. The best chance for showers will be late week, especially into Friday, as moisture begins to creep back into the forecast. A little more in the way of humidity, but a little more in the way of sunshine returns for the weekend. And then heading into early next week, we'll be watching another front. It looks like a stronger one at that, so we'll have to see if it brings that cool down that we're expecting. That's your 7 on 10 forecast.